welcome back. If you're just joining us, breaking news, you are rich. That's the headline. If you are a Bahamian, you are rich. And the other headline is you've had someone stealing from you since you've been alive. You've had somebody stealing your wealth, stealing your country's resources, and trying to steal your future. The good news is we are now on to the trick. And so our job is to make sure that we get it back to you. That's what tonight is about, educating you so you are aware of what's been happening. And then you can decide whether you want them to get the child Sanders cane or you want them to go to jail. Because this is nothing short of criminal, that our country has been doing this for years, and our people are still suffering, and we are not doing anything. See, in case you don't understand, here's my issue. Here's my issue. The Bahamas, God placed this here. God placed this archipelago of islands here. Strategically, right where it is in the world, because he knew that it would be a literal paradise. He also knew that he would equip in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas everything this nation would need, that its people would be wealthy and not have to depend on anybody for anything. That's why he put fish in the ocean, natural resources in the earth, so that we can be able to have access to our own wealth and not depend on people to give us handouts. That's what the good Lord did for you. That's why I always tell people, if you are part of the Bahamas, you are designed by God to be blessed. He blessed you so much to give you a country like this that is so rich. The world knows the riches of the Bahamas. So if you're a Bahamian, your hat's off to you. You are the apple of God's eye. The problem is, we've not been living like that. The problem is, we've not operated in our God-given kingdom authority. Why? Because we thought only pirates were stealing from us. We thought only the British were stealing from us, and didn't recognize the people who were stealing from us were right among us. Because they recognized the wealth when they got into powers of governance. They recognized what this country had access to, and they said, shh, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. We can't let this get out. We can't let this get out. We can't let people know about this. We got to keep this. Got to keep this. Got to keep this. Got to protect this. And so foreigners just come in and say, oh yeah, we wear what you have. We want to be able to manufacture what you have, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. And so they've made their companies multi-billion-dollar companies. It's on the stock exchange. You can see it. Made their companies rich off the Bahamas. Do you think they're just making their companies rich off the Bahamas, and somebody who's allowing them to do it has not been able to say, okay, we got you, we got you. Now I'm starting to wonder where all of this wealth coming from that you can't trace back to certain people and certain people over the years of power. Now you wonder why you look and you check people's bank accounts. You say, oh, okay, well, you can't see no foreign deal, no fixed deal here. But what's happening? Oh, the money perhaps are in offshore accounts, offshore banks. And they're getting funds, perhaps, to allow a practice that for years have raped the Bahamian people, while the people suffer, while people die because they can't afford health care, while people die because they have no food to eat, while people die because their electricity is getting turned off all the time, while people are dying because they cannot afford to live in this Bahamas, when all around us is wealth. Von Miller.
Let me substantiate a lot of what you just said. In 1967, January 10th, historic day, black majority rule. Progressive Liberal Party won the government. Shortly thereafter, I'm not sure exactly what year it was, but if my research serves me correctly, they met Aragonite mining
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to spend my Sunday evenings with you. Listen, the work continues. We're right back at it. I promised to take a week off, but I couldn't because of some uh, major breaking news that affects the whole Bahamas and the region. And so this is going to be a late night. So we thank you for spending the night with us. We're going to talk about some serious things. We're going to talk about a criminal empire that is now being unraveled. And of course, I'm not in studio. I'm on the road, um, moving, and so this is going to be a special one. All right, and so I'm using the close-up camera, and we're not in studio, so please excuse me for that. We don't have the professional look today. But, ladies and gentlemen, I am broadcasting live to you from somewhere in the Bahamas. And well, not necessarily in the Bahamas. I don't even know why I said that. I'm so used to saying that. I'm broadcasting live to you somewhere else so that no one can know my location. To be honest with you, but try to confuse you about that. But ladies and gentlemen, what's important is the content of what I'm about to say. Our country has been running like a drug mafia cartel for many years now. And to be honest with you, it did not just start with this PLP administration. I'm about to show you documents. You know, we always come into documents. So just like I showed you documents when we expose the Sebastian empire, we're going to show you documents to show you where we are. And the reason it's important to show you is not because we're trying to go against this present administration, the past administration, or even Eric Gardiner. Is because the international community is seeing us in a certain way. And the problem is, we're not seeing ourselves in that way and we don't know what's going on. And they are watching and they are reacting to this in a certain way. And it's going to affect all of us. If we continue to allow our country to be run like a criminal mafia organization, only us is going to suffer. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see some documents to show that our country is being run like a criminal mafia. And when I say documents, there's some serious documents that we've pulled up. You're going to see these people's signature. You're going to see what's really been going on. And it's shameful. America knows and has everything that I'm about to show you. And something is about to go down. The other shoe is about to drop. And we're going to face some serious ramifications. There's a big cabinet. There's speculation as to why everyone is getting diplomatic immunity. But we're going to discuss all of that because we have a right to discuss that because something fishy is going on in our country. And I'm calling on all right thinking Bahamians who want to get our country together to stand with me on this, to stand for what is right in our country. Is one thing when crime is going on in your country, crime goes on in almost every country. It's a different thing when the government is participating in it. That's the problem. Someone has to have the courage to speak out for this. I did receive death threats today after I posted that I was going to do this. I did receive warnings today to not speak out against these people, that these people are dangerous. I did receive threats from persons that they're going to come after me, they're going to destroy me, where they can't find, they'll dig up. That did happen in the last couple of hours. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, someone has to say something. And if evil prevails when good men do nothing. And all of us good Bahamians have sat back and watched our country go down into the state it is in. Someone has to do something. And at the end of the day, if this affects me in a negative way, if this causes me to be unalived or anything else that could possibly happen, I'm not afraid of it. I just hope that there's a group of young Bahamians who are going to rise up and who's going to have the integrity to fix this, to see that their parents were so caught up on political parties that they didn't care that their country was being destroyed, that they didn't see that it was going to get harder and harder to get visas because of all the skullduggery going on. Well, today I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, how Eric Gardiner was caught, and what has been happening in the country for all this time, and what the ramifications now is going to be. Pray for our leaders. It's going to get very dark in the Bahamas because of this arrest. Stay tuned. Before I get there, I want to first of all thank all of the people of Pinewood who decided to come out and vote for me and support me. It touched me to see that I am not alone, to see that my neighbors and friends believe in me, to see that these people came out and stood up and stood with me. That's all I asked him to do, that I would stand and take the bullets for them. I would stand in the front line for them, and all I needed from them was their ex. And the people of Pinewood showed up. I want to thank you, Pinewood. You showed up. You showed that you were tired of the corruption and you were willing to stand with someone who was standing for you and standing for this country. Many of you, as you came to hug and kiss me and show me your purple fingers, you said you wanted to see me in the House of Assembly so that there could be accountability in this country. Finally, that someone, that people could answer to what's going on and that someone could expose the corruption in this country. I want you to know that I will not let you down. It actually would have been better for them if they had not cheated that election and let me in the House. They have some control in the House, but they don't have any control over the World Wide Web. They have no control over social media. And since they wanted to keep us out of the House, they are going to wish they did. Let us in the House. And us means the people of the Bahamas, who I would have been speaking up for, who I would have been representing. But thank you, Pinewood. There's people who feel like you didn't show up. I do not agree with that. I saw some meme video go out about a flooding in Pinewood, and they had me saying to go ask LaRoda. I would never do that. I will fight with you, my people of Pinewood, until the day I die. I suffered with you in Pinewood all my life. I grew up there, like many of you. I know your pain and your suffering. I will stand with you. I will stand with you. Success is not what people think it is sometimes. Success is standing up for Pinewood. We are educating the Bahamian public. We are changing the political paradigm. That is success. We were very successful in this election. We have changed the political landscape. That is success. We have forced them to come into Pinewood and pave roads, to do many things because of our presence. That is success. This time, this term, they're going to have to focus on Pinewood because there's a political threat there. They're not concerned with activism, you know. The only thing politicians are concerned with is political threats. And we, Pinewood, because I am you and you are me, we are a political threat. And because of that, they got to keep doing what they're supposed to do. And that's why we told the Bahamian people to vote differently this time. Because once there's a political threat, they can't be lax anymore. They got to do what they're supposed to do. And so in Pinewood, you're going to get what you're supposed to get. Now, they stole that election. We have a lot of evidence of that, and we're going to election court. If there's anyone out there who wants to help us to fund election court isn't cheap, please contact me. Send a WhatsApp, 803-5995, if you are willing to help us fund our election court. We have no problem asking for help with that, but this is something that has to happen. 803-5995 is the number. Contact me and help us to bring justice to this country. And justice for Pinewood. And so, ladies and gentlemen of Pinewood, thank you so much. I am not going to let your vote not be counted. I'm not going to let you be disenfranchised. It will not happen. And so, my people of Pinewood, I'm going to continue to stand up and fight for every single vote that you cast. We're coming for Pinewood. We're coming for Pinewood. Persons voted in two polling divisions. False voters cards were issued out. Persons who transferred were disenfranchised. Ladies and gentlemen, if these are people I need to also contact me at 803-5995. Send a WhatsApp. I can't take all the calls. If you transferred before the date of before the register closed, if you transferred from another area into Pinewood, but when you got there, they told you your transfer didn't go through, you were disenfranchised. Please contact me. All of these incidences will help to overturn this election because it shows that the process wasn't done and that people were disenfranchised and it could have affected the election. If you were removed from the register, you went there and you saw that you were not on the register, please send me a note, 803-5995. If you saw any malfeasance, if you know of anyone who had an extra voter's ID or you know of anything that could affect this uh, election challenge, please send me a WhatsApp, 803-5995. If you were disenfranchised in any way, 803-5995. Please, our democracy is at stake. Contact me. If you saw any of these issues, if you had any of these issues, um, just send a WhatsApp and our team, we've put together a team, a legal team that is dealing with this. We will contact you. All right. So if you were on the register previously and you were not on it this time, contact me. If you know of a family member who's deceased and they were still on the register, please uh, send a WhatsApp also. All right. So we are going to go after all of this. All right. And so if you were disenfranchised in any way during this last election, please let us know. If you know of someone who voted in the advance poll and also voted in the general election, please contact us. We're compiling all of the evidence right now and we're getting ready for war. We're going after Pinewood. We can't just let them get away with what they did. The whole country saw what they did. We got to fight, Bahamas. Just like Pillin and those had to fight. We got to fight. It's a time for everything, and now it's time to fight. So I just want to get that out of the way. Also, um, Sabas has been made a cabinet minister. That's illegal. All right. Um, we're gonna have something to say about that. All right. Um, so there's some other stuff that's gonna go down. We're not gonna talk about it right now, but just know that we just want a country that operates properly. We're tired of the corruption. We're tired of this broken nation. We all saw what happened, and so we're gonna fix this. All right. If you want to help, you want to be a part of our team. Also, send me a WhatsApp 803-5995. It's time to stand up, y'all. It's time to fight. Let's not let our country go down to the dog. All right. Um. All right. Now, this one is going to be serious, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Despite of all of the veiled threats that I got today and some direct threats that I got today, and again, go to the police. It's a waste of time. Um, I won't waste my time. All right. But I'm just letting you know that we are not afraid. We know that there's some risk out there. Okay. Let's see here. Hope I got all of this. Yeah, we know that there's some risk out there. Um, uh, you know, our country is broken, and we got to leave this in a proper way for our children who are going to come after us. And so I'm going to do this tonight. And some people are not going to like it. Some names of some important, well to do people are going to be named who have been mixed up with Gardiner. Names. Some prominent people are going to be named. Some documents are going to be shown. We have to show the international community that the Bahamian people are not our government, and we want our country to run right. It's them. We are not benefiting from this in any way. All right? So we just want the international community and us as a people. There's just who in charge and running things right now. We would have liked, as a people, some help to address this, but the fact of help ourselves is the help. And if we don't have courage to do this, then help is not coming. All right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, all right, files are lined up. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a man called Jonathan Eric. Um, he's a very dangerous people. And so I decided to leave town in order to even do this. But ladies and gentlemen, I have to say this. On election day, uh, Eric Gardiner was traveling the Bahamas, delivering money to different constituencies in order to help to fund the PLP's election. He's traveling to different places to distribute the money. And so what this says is that drug money was funding the PLP's election. That's the first implication that we're hearing from here, well, overseas, I should say. Um, so they had flown to Abaco, they had funded Abaco, and they were flying from Abaco to Freeport and tell you what really happened. There's people out there speculating what I'm about to tell you what really happened. They were flying from Abaco to Grand Bahama, I should say, and Ian Nixon was the pilot. Player Gardiner was there, and they were transporting some people from Abaco to Grand Bahama in order to vote. And they were in there, some of them in their PLP regalia, etc. But this was the election process. No problem there. All right. Um, when they went into the air, a storm came out of nowhere. It wasn't on the forecast. A storm came and overtook the airplane. If this isn't Providence, I don't know what is. A storm came and overtook the aircraft. They couldn't see anything. They couldn't tell up or down. And all of a sudden, the electronics, including the GPS, failed. They couldn't find Grand Bahama. The pilot told the others what was going on. I think he called Player into the cockpit and told him, I can't find Freeport. Um, One of the engines went down and they were in trouble. The other engine went down and they had to make an emergency landing into the water. You know, some of you have heard this story. And they went down into the water. And of course, you've heard the story, so I won't repeat every detail. Now, allegedly, Player was carrying $250,000 with him. Some of the money was in the cockpit somewhere, um, in a carry-on bag, I'm told, and that sank with the plane. But he had a money strapped around him. $30,000 was in there, and there's an envelope that was there that had the name of a member of parliament. All right. There are persons who suspect that that member of parliament was Kingsley Smith. Uh, we have not confirmed that yet, but there was a member of parliament, and so that doesn't mean Kingsley, if that is true, was a part of any drug deal or whatever. That was just money for politics. All right, if that was for him, and and so Player held on to that money for as long as it was there. If he had dropped that money and let that go into the ocean, he would not have gotten caught. It's important for you to understand. He held on to that money because money is what these people are about. It's about greed. And he held on to that, and that money is what caused him to get caught. Well, in any event, the Coast Guard was having a training session, I'm told, somewhere around there. And they were able to come and rescue them. And this was a humanitarian rescue. And so, with a humanitarian rescue, you don't have to ID people. They don't need to have an ID, and those people didn't have an ID. And you can give them a false name. And we're told that the player gave a false name because he was trying to hide who he was. He is now in America, knowing that he's wanted in America and he can't come to America. And he gave a false name. But they were curious about why he was carrying all this money. And to be honest with you, that's not big money. Obviously, that's not for a drug deal or anything. But why are you carrying all this money? And that's what caused him to get held up. And when they let everyone else, they had everyone else separate, and they had Ian, Nixon, and Player together. And eventually, they told both of them that they're putting them in the cell. Ian was curious as to why they put them in the cell, this humanitarian rescue. But they were just suspicious. They didn't know anything yet. And they had put them to the cell. They let the other people go, and Ian and those could see them leaving. And they came back and grabbed Ian and say, "You can go too." And they were holding up on Player. Now, a plane had already been sent from the Bahamas to go and get them, to get Player and Ian and the rest of the people. A plane had been sent. And our embassy was actively trying to get a Player on the plane and get these people on the plane. Our embassy, I am told, this is alleged. And what happened was, whoever sent the plane from the Bahamas, when they heard that they was keeping Player on the inside, they told, and I know the name of the person, but I'm not going to say here, they told them, take that plane off now. Get that plane in the air. We don't want them get Nixon too. Get the plane in the air, leave Player. And so they left Player. All right? And that was from the Bahamas. Um, and again, I know who it is. They almost let him go. But some eagle eyed, sharp patriots in the Bahamas had figured out what was going on. And they realized that, that they were trying to release Player. And calls were made to the US government by Bahamian patriots to say, y'all don't know who y'all have. Y'all have someone right now, and he is not who he says he is, and y'all need to get him. Don't let him go. Calls were made, all right, by Bahamian patriots. And I want to say congratulations to those patriots. I won't say who they are. I want to say congratulations. You just shifted everything. And that's how they got him. Because there was no need for him to have a ID. There was no need for him to get fingerprinted, etc. And he was given a false name. All right. And so uh, that's how they got him. So there were some people saying that Ian set this up because Ian is an informant and all that. I can't say whether Ian is an informant or not, but I can say that it's no way that this was an operation that Ian was a part of setting up, because they didn't know who Player was. They know who Player is, but they didn't know that they had him. They didn't know who he was, that they were assisting with this humanitarian situation. If he had not held on to that money, those persons, those patriots, would not have had time to call, to make calls, and tell them who they had. And so there are good Bahamians who hate corruption, who are tired of corruptions in high places and low places in this country. And I want to say that it's time to take our country back. To the government of the Bahamas, you have time to change your ways, to stop the corruption with immigration, to stop the drug dealers and the drug dealing going on in this country, to stop our country from being run like a criminal mafia. You have chance to repent and change before it's too late. But it may already be too late because people in the US are already talking. Now, that's how they got him. They charged him based on an indictment. I have the indictment. I'm going to show you the indictment. We're going to go through it. It's story time. So you all just hang with me tonight. I'm going to show you the indictment. Um, they are being charged with things like not just cocaine, but robbery. Like literally, they're throwing a book at them. And that's just the Georgia indictment. There's also a Southern District of New York indictment. And that's when the hammer is really going to drop. If you are a politician connected to this, I'm going to tell you now it's time to repent. It's time. All right. Um, this is very serious. Yes. Someone says murder also. Yes. I believe that Eric Gardiner was allegedly responsible for the murder of Lynx Jones. He was one of our supporters and generals in Grand Bahama, and he was killed after he did an expose exposing the school contract that player was allegedly mixed up in. Remember the school that I exposed that was building for years and it couldn't be finished? Well, they gave a contract, and Lynx Jones had exposed that they were bringing in people from Nassau, and I think he'd call players' name. They're bringing in people from Nassau when there were people in 8 Mile Rock who could do the work, who had built Grand Bahama, and they should have let them work. And next thing we know, they killed them and staged an accident right by the school, I guess, as a statement. Um, God don't sleep. God don't sleep. And so maybe God put the information in the hands of friends of Lynx to make sure that that man is gone. All right. So, um, all right. So they held him. They're holding him now on the Georgia indictment, but then there's going to be probably more indictments in New York. All right. And so politicians' names have been called, and this is serious for our country. Let me repeat that. Politicians' names have been called, and this is serious for our country. All right. And I just want to let everyone know we are broadcasting live all over the internet. So if you have any issues on Facebook or whatever, okay, we got like 62,000 people on here throughout everything. If you have a problem on, people are on my Facebook, people are on YouTube and LinkedIn and all over the place, and so we're live everywhere. All right, so if you want to watch it on your TV, you can go on your TV and watch it, etc., through YouTube, etc. All right, but this one is going to be serious, so we're going to go and dig through these documents now to give you an idea of who this person is. There was before we go to the documents, there was a a video that was going around with audio recording and sounds like some voice notes from two ladies who were talking. Well, you could only hear the voice of one, which is Antoinette Butler Smith. She's a PLP supporter. She's normally on Facebook, etc. I know her, and she was saying some things about Player. She also said some stuff about Joe Bet. I can ignore that. I'm not going to play that part, but I want you to hear what she says about Player, because in that she also implicates herself to say that there was operation against her. That gives it some kind of credibility because no one's going to talk bad about themselves or implicate themselves while talking. And so I just want you to see how dangerous she is saying that this person is. So If she knows this, she's a PLP supporter with government contracts, very connected to the PLP MPs, etc. If she knows this, um, uh, obviously the other politicians would know this. So then why would they be associating with this criminal on this level that is wanted by America? All right. So I'm gonna I'm gonna play that for you. I want to avoid the first part where she was talking something about Joe Bet. So let me just, and if somehow that slip and play, I don't know anything about Joe Bet and anything about who she's dealing with and that kind of stuff. So uh, let me see if I could just get it straight to the part where she starts to talk about player and what's going on there. All right. So just give me a sec. Let me pull this up for you. Give me a sec.
Not Joe Bet. Joe Bet don't fuck Chester. Girl, I
Okay. First of all, I want to foul language in it, and I want you to excuse us as this is playing. Um, uh, but even in court, they will have to play the foul language. If you're testifying, you'll have to say exactly what was said. So if someone said foul language, you have to say the exact thing. We're not doing this because we want to play this foul language and annoy anyone. Um, but we're doing this because we want you to see where the country is. And as we show you these documents, we're going to show it is going to get serious. All right. All right. So let me see if it passed that part.
ain't Chester who Joe Bet as fuck. Oh, bro.
All right. So again, I don't know anything about Joe Bet dealing with anybody. I guess obviously you heard what she said, but of course that's because Joe Bet deals with her husband. All right. That's all I know about. So I'm not mixing up in them crazy talks. All right. But I want you to listen to what she is saying about um, the relationship with her and Player, etc. With meaning Antoinette and Player and his power in this country.
I know so much. I stay in my house, in my little hole, but I know everything. Everything. You remember me speaking on the phone with Michelle, and I say when I went to Canada, when we went to China in 2016, I said it was all of us, and I said, I called the name, and I said the person was able to enter then because the thing wasn't really straight yet.
The person she's talking about is Player. All right, Eric Player Gardiner.
And then when his daughter graduated, he couldn't go. Oh, that's my brother, okay? Just so you know. Okay? All right. All right. Multi-millionaire who get all the contract to build all the homes for the government. Yeah. Under Joe Bet. Yeah. My brother. Okay? My brother from another mother. He's my fucking bestest brother. Don't mix it up. And he don't fuck around. You won't go missing? Fuck with that one. An alcoholic. He's a full-blown fucking alcoholic.
So she's letting you know this is a dangerous fella. You cross him, you end up dead. All right. Again, I told you we suspect that he was responsible for the killing of Lynx Jones. That's just our suspicion. We don't have any proof of that. That he killed Lynx Jones after Lynx had put out that video that went viral talking about the school and what happened there. It also was on TV. It was on actually the news, the mainstream media that played Lynx video. And after that, Lynx was killed. And so that's the basis of the suspicion. And so you can hear her say that he will make you disappear.
He has a construction company. Okay, so the backstory, let me give you the backstory. In 2005, he was extradited. The United States government had an operation on him and us, basically. Well, that's another story. Operation Get Kelly, 2005. He was arrested and transported from Santo Domingo. He was on his way home from Jamaica. He was on his way home from Jamaica. He stopped in Santo Domingo and they arrested him with $19.6 million in his possession. And then our private plane went to pick him up. One of our friends was on the plane. When the plane landed, it already arrested Eric in Santo Domingo So they confiscated the jet and they took our friend in custody as well. So our friend also was arrested the same time as him. My sister-in-law was in Germany pregnant. They went to Germany, U.S. Marshals, and pick her up on the fucking base. She'd get married to one guy in the army. He didn't know nothing about the operation because they had the operation going for 5 years. So by the time she'd stopped what she was doing for us and she was married and pregnant, it was too late because the operation had already started. My ex-boyfriend, who I was with before I married my husband, also have a seal indictment on him. He's never entered the U.S. from 2005, but he have a seal indictment on him. I left him in 2012, 2013, also when I left the chamber, because I was only working as a front. I work all them years just a front. But I just gave you the backstory, okay? So I left him in 2012, but all of them was involved in the indictment. And I miss it by the skin of my fucking teeth. And that's why I get out of that lifestyle because I don't have no part of that shit. It's good while it lasted. But anyway, to make a long story short, don't fuck with the crew. This crew is a dangerous crew. Okay? And I letting you know now, he's not one to fuck with. Brave, them know how this nigga go. And I can tell you this. You don't even mention his name in a whisper. He live here now. He always had a construction company even when he wasn't living here. Cause all he get is money. He don't, sweetie, this shit so deep. Girl, this deep. This above plenty people pay grade in this little town. It's above they pay grade. Okay? All right.
All right. So while the video was playing, I got a call, not a call, a text from Antoinette Butler Smith saying that the audio was doctored. That the audio is doctored because the voice notes pieced together and doctored. All right. Um, it says pieced together and doctored. Okay. So that's what Annette Butler Smith texted me a minute ago. She said, I know her and I could have called her before this. I do know her. Um, and so I just wanted to say that. All right. But she said it's doctored. And all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to put that out there because that's been in the public domain for a very long time, and I haven't heard her correct that in the public domain at all. But she said that, and so now I am letting you know exactly her side of it. She is saying the voice notes are doctored. All right, so you can take it how you want, but she's talking about Eric Player Gardiner. All right, now. Um, Eric Player Gardner is a known drug dealer who, like she says, has government contracts. Like, well, the voice note says has government contract. All right. Um, why would he have government contracts? I'm going to take you on a little journey through some documents. So it's bedtime story time. But first, I want to show you the actual indictment. I want to show you the indictment of what's really going down in Georgia right now. Let me pull this up for you. And then I'm going to show you the connection to the Bahamas government. All right. Um, and so, and Antoinette texts me, but I've seen her send out many false things about me and never called me before she sent them out on behalf of the PLP. Um, and so that's fine. Okay, let me pull this up for you. I'm gonna pull up some documents. Let's pull up the producer. Pull up the what do you call it? The indictment first. Uh, let's see. Yeah, pull up the indictment. Okay, the indictment says that U.S. v. Gudino, etc. That's the indictment. All right, let's pull that up. All right, and so while they are pulling that up, and so they're pulling it up and publishing that overseas. All right, here we go. Hope you're all willing to stay up tonight. So this is U.S. District Court, and it's redacted. This is published now, but it's redacted. All right. Oh, looking at it. All right. Listen, y'all can try as much as y'all want. All right. All right. So we believe that the redacted is wherever Eric Play Gardiner's name is, that is redacted. All right. Um, and so these are a bunch of people that were arrested for conspiracy, and there's a lot of cases. All right, this country. Okay, so there's a lot of counts. I'm gonna fly through this. So count one: conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute controlled substances. Um, and they gave the information is from January 2022 until 2023, July 2023. That's count one. All right. You see the names there, including player. Let's go to the next one. Let's go. Count two: conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery. So this is serious. It's robbery. All right. Beginning of the date, but at least February 2026, 2023, continue until about March 9th, 2023. All right. And so count three: conspiracy to import controlled substances. All right. I'm going to keep going. Count four: continuing criminal enterprise. Uh, Count five: possession with intent to distribute controlled substance. Count six: possession with intent to distribute controlled substance. Count seven: possession with intent to distribute controlled substance. Count eight: attempted possession with intent to distribute controlled substance. Count nine: possession with intent to distribute controlled substance. Count 10: possession with intent to distribute controlled substance. Again, count 11: the same thing. Um, Count 12: same thing. Count 13: same thing. It's a lot of counts. All right. Count 14: possession with intent to distribute controlled substance. So there's a lot of counts of distributing controlled substance. Count 16: same thing. Count 17. It's a lot of counts. Remember, it's just the Georgia part of it. Count 18: felon in possession of firearm. Count 19: possession of firearm by alien unlawfully in the United States. Count 20: possession of intent to distribute controlled substance. Again. Count 21: possession of firearm and furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. Count 22: felon in possession of firearm. Count 23: money laundering conspiracy. Count 24: money laundering transaction concealment. And you remember Eric Clay Gardner already had a conviction that included drug trafficking and money laundering. And why that is important is because our government then proceeded to do business transactions, including rentals with this gentleman and PPPs with this gentleman. All right. So count 25: money laundering transactions. Count 26: money laundering conspiracy. Count 27, money laundering transaction concealment. Count 28, money laundering transaction. Uh, Count 29, money laundering transaction concealment. Prior conviction notice. All right. And so all of this was a part of it. All right. Uh, so that's most of it. And so they gave the details. I just went through it. Forfeiture upon conviction of the offenses alleged in count 1, 3 through 17, 21, etc. of indictment, the defendants, they named all of them, shall forfeit to the United States of America pursuant to the title of the United States any property constituted or derived from the proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of the said violations, and any property used or intended to be used in any manner or part to commit or to facilitate the commission of said violations, including but not limited to the following: money judgment, a sum of money, et cetera, et cetera, um, currency, and they list the currency, and all the currencies involve funds, vehicles, any vehicles that they may have, jewelry. Wow. Uh, and they list a bunch of jewelry, Versace design, dog tag pendant, all kind of stuff. Rolex, firearms, and so here's the problem. Uh, and they listed a bunch of stuff here, which includes whatever property. Um, and so if the Bahamas government is tangled up with this, with government buildings, and our government building was used to money launder, what does that mean for our government buildings? This is deeper than you think. All right. I said that to give you a chance to think through this as a Bahamian people. I want you to think through this. All right. What does that mean for us as a people? All right. Um, this is serious. This is serious. And so that's the indictment. I just breezed through it. Um, um, but I want you to think. If this is a drug dealer who was convicted prior for drugs and for money laundering, and he then goes into business with drug money, is committing drug crimes and building government subdivisions and buildings using drug money to fund it. Do you all see where I'm going with this? This is the 1980s over again, except the government wasn't participating in it. The government was taking money under the table to let them do what they want to do. But now it appears the government is participating, and it's not just this administration. This ain't an attack on Brave alone. I can show you some things right now. All right. Um, and so the international community sees that our government was involved with money laundering with a drug dealer, a known drug dealer. How does a drug dealer get a PPP? How does the government rent from drug dealer? How does it happen? How is it that America knew he was drug dealing, but we didn't know that here? How? How? Mm. All right. So let's look at some more documents. Let's look at some more documents. Let's see what we got here. I want to show you. I want to show you some documents. All right. Well, first of all, as soon as this government got in, they gave crown land to this gentleman. I did a whole live on that before. I even got a threat after doing that live. But this person was given our crown land. All right. Try and look for that to pull that up. All right. I'll keep looking for that. All right. So where's the rest? Okay, here it is. He was given crown land. Here it is. Let me pull it up. So the first person to get that I know about to get crown land under this administration, this was 2022. They just won in 20, and they gave top-notch builders crown land. All right, that's the company that the gentleman owns. All right, he got crown land, and here's the documents to show that he got crown land. All right, from our government. And so, see, crown grant. And so he got the crown grant, and this is the map of where it is, and it's right by Frank Watson Drive in that area somewhere. All right, just showing you the whole document. You can come back and see it. And it's 10 acres. All right, 10 acres of crown land. 10 acres of crown land is what the gentleman got. All right, and you see who signed on to this? The Honorable Philip Edward Davis. Do you see it? And so Philip Davis, right here, gave him crown land. All right. Guess it's progress. Oh, did I share it with you? No, I didn't share it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at this. I thought I'd shared it. I'm sorry. I thought I'd shared the screen. Hold on one sec, because I want you to see it. Photo. Okay, give me one sec. Yeah. All right, this is a document. This the crown grant. I'm sorry, I thought I had shown it to you. And so this is off Frank Watson Highway. It's 10 acres. You can see it now. I'm so sorry about that. 10 acres of land, right here. 10 acres. Um, and it's signed by the Honorable Philip Edward Davis. All right. And so that's on February 2022, 15th of February 2022. And so the drug dealer got crown land sometime after the election. All right. Okay. So let's keep going. Now we're gonna have a conversation now about this building in 8 Mile Rock. You remember that when I went to run in 8 Mile Rock in the by-election, that I exposed this building that was building for years. Right? It was over 10 years, maybe even up to 15 years. That this building was building, but it could never finish. And and it's like someone was benefiting, and that was the problem. And once the PPP is signed with these kinds of buildings, remember I showed you that with the Sabas expose, the government starts paying rent right away. All right. And so we were concerned as to whether the government was paying rent while the building wasn't finished. and therefore there was no reason to finish the building, because it was already getting rent. All right, and I'm going to show you all of that. But so the building was bought. All right, the building was bought, and let me pull this up. All right, the building was bought, and you're going to see some strange stuff in a second here. Top notch. Okay, the building was bought, right? And the building was then sold. Well, sorry, the building wasn't bought. The property was bought, and then the property was sold uh, from Top Notch to another company called PPP. Bringing up PPP when we were talking about government buildings, all right? And so that's what that was about. And so the building that was built um, was the property was turned over to PPP, and I want you to see who was the beneficial owner of PPP. All right, so it went from Top Notch to PPP. Let me show you who is PPP. All right, now they did an affidavit of beneficial ownership. That's what I'm about to show you. Make sure that's it. Okay, here we go. All right, Mizik and Bo. Affidavit of beneficial ownership. The affidavit is from Samson Heald, Hayden Rock. All right. Now, affidavit of beneficial ownership of PPP Investments and Construction Company Limited. All right. And so it's showing you who's the beneficial owner so that the deal could go through properly. I know it's sideways, but there's someone representing PPP who swore, "I'm the president and a director of PPP Investment and Construction Company, a company incorporated in the laws of the Bahamas, the Sand Commonwealth." And basically, he's saying that at the date of the conveyance dated the 12th day of November, AD 2016, made between Top Notch Limited, Top Notch, of the one part, and the said PPP Investments Construction Limited of the other part, and about to be lodged for the record in the registry, City of Nassau, etc. I was a Bahamian citizen, etc. Okay, let me go to the next one. Number 3, that the said Top Notch Builders Limited is the sole beneficial owner of the issued shares in the said PPP Investments and Construction Company Limited, and does not now hold and has never held such shares as trustee or nominee for a foreign person, et cetera, et cetera. All right? And so what they're saying is that Top Notch owns PPP Investment. So the conveyance was selling the property to themselves. See how these switcheroo stuff goes on? But the affidavit is where you could really see exactly what is going on. And you can see the documents, and it's the passport of the gentleman who made the affidavit. So this is proof that the government gave a PPP and a lease to. Now PPP is a strategy government uses, public-private partnership. But he actually named his company PPP. So that's two separate things, just so you understand. All right. So they gave the PPP to PPP Investment and Construction Company Limited. All right. But Top Notch owns PPP. And then the government carried on business with PPP Investments. So because everyone knows that Top Notch is owned by a player, what you do is you turn it over to another company that they might own, and you start doing business with that other company. And that's basically what they do. All right. So just wanted you to see that part. Let's keep going. More stuff here to go through. So I just wanted you to see that. All right. Um, and so they sold it to themselves. And if you look at the documents, I'm trying to speed through it. They sold it to themselves. And of course, of course, they then went into business with the government. All right. I'm going to show you, let me show you a fact sheet. Well, not a fact sheet with the government. So now, after they made the deal with the government, remember what Sebastian and them did? They then got a loan, a $10 million mortgage on this transaction, this building or whatever. And the loan was a loan that was taken out in Jamaica. Eric Clay Gardiner is bigger in Jamaica than he is in the Bahamas. He's a big shot in Jamaica. And so a loan was done for this building in Jamaica. And you'll also remember that allegedly a loan was done in Jamaica for the Renaissance, Carmichael Village, where they're building those houses. Michael Pindard keeps alleging that there was a $20 million loan that was done to build those houses. All right. And that loan was from Jamaica as well. And guess what? It's alleged that these same people were involved in building those houses. But I'm going to show you the loan all the way from Jamaica. All right. And here it is, a $10 million loan to PPP Investment and Construction Company, remember, right? And all right, land details, Grand Bahama, 8 Mile Rock. This is where the property is, okay? And that was a loan for this situation. So they get the government to pay them rent, which pays for everything and pays all this back. So it's kind of like free money, and it's a way to get money or legal money, drug money into the system, okay, into the regular banking system. Why is our government entangling itself with these kinds of transactions? All right. Now, the important part of this is what I want you to see. This transaction went through in 2019. That was not Philip Brave Davis. That was the F&M. And so the F&M, knowing who this fella is, you cannot not know, because who did the due diligence? Allowed this, because the government got to authorize this, and let this just go through. Now you could say, the deal had started under the PLP and they had it. No, they did not. Because if they have done their proper investigation, they could have said, hey, stop, canceling review. But guess what? Togi and Bobo was cool with the PLP. Togi and Bobo was cool with Minnis and the F&M and Pintard. Togi and Bobo have nothing to do with this what we're talking about, but I'm just showing you an example of how all of them work together. So this ain't just the PLP. Minnis them knew about this and allowed this. And Minnis them allowed that building to go through their whole term and not be completed and not be opened. And the only reason pressure was put to open that building, because rent would have probably already been being paid, was because of the by-election and me going there and exposing what was going on. But they couldn't get a loan from the banks here in the Bahamas, so they went to get a loan all the way from Jamaica. And so, sorry, phone battery dying. All right, so these the documents. Got some more documents here for y'all. Just give me one sec. And so, again, our government is being seen to be tangled up in this. And I'm going to show you, because I had shown you before the rent on this situation. All right, I'd shown you the rent situations. Um, I'd shown you the situation where rent was being paid out, and we were trying to figure out who is PPP, but we knew who the building was, but we didn't understand exactly what the situation was. All right. Um, all right. So I have the same U.S. number calling me over and over and over. I wonder why this U.S. number is calling me over and over. Let me see who this person is, because the number keeps calling me. Hello, may I help? I'm good. Hey, text, text. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me put you because they can't hear you. You want them to be able to hear you, right? All right, hold on. Okay, I just put you on speaker. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So Antoinette texted you and told you that the voice note that you apparently played was fake. Correct?
Yes. Who's this? Who's talking?
This Brittany Harris.
Okay. Yeah, she
Okay.
did say that.
Okay, so let me tell you what I'm gonna do for you because I was the person she was talking to. I am going to provide you the entire chat, and I'm not gonna screen record it because then she might say that it is AI. So I'm gonna use one phone and record the whole chat, and I'm going to show you all her number. I'm going to press on it to show you all that it is real. The whole WhatsApp conversation, it is 100% real, and because I was the person she was talking to, and everything you heard on those voice notes, that's multiple voice notes that was being played, but everything was the same day, the same night, around the same time, and she said every word. Now, what Antoinette is going to have to do, Antoinette Butler, who is selling the perfume out of the house, what she is going to have to do is come back to the public and say she lied on them. But she's not going to say that those voice notes are fake. Okay? Okay? So whenever you go live again, I was driving. That's why I was trying to call you for a minute. I was driving, but I stationed now. Whenever you go live again, you will have I will send you the entire video. I'm going to talk in it. I'm going to say the date and everything so people know that it's real. Don't say something and then turn around and try to make it seem like people lying on you. You said those things. She said that player Gardner, that Eric Gardner, aka Player, is like her brother, about how she was almost caught in the indictment some years ago. She talked about their relationship. Whatever you all hear on the voice note is 100% true.
Wow.
So Antoinette, you're gonna have to come back to the public and tell them that you lied on Player, or you lied on Joe Bet, or you lied on all of them. But you don't say those voice notes are fake because they're not.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect. All right. Wow. All right. So my biggest concern with all of this, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that our government seems to be tangled up in this drug dealing and money web. And so what I'm going to show you now is this it? All right. What I'm going to show you now is the all right. I want you to look at these numbers and see how much money is being paid in this rental deal, this PPP lease deal. Of course, I know I'm taking my time with this and slow, but I want you to see this because our country is at stake. This is a serious situation, and we can't just brush over this like we did with the FTX situation, etc. Because the international community is taking it serious. And we can brush over it if we want to. But okay, here we go. This here is what's being paid out. All right. So we did a little infographic with it. Every quarter, he is getting $1.1 million rent plus VAT. All right. Then he's getting another 140,000 for cam fees, etc. All right. So every quarter, player is able to get directly into his bank account uh, to help buy more drugs or do whatever he needs to do. He's able to get $1.298 million per quarter, and that's $5.193 million per year that they're able to launder into the bank. Because that's what the government is paying them, so no bank is going to be able to question the legitimacy of that. And so the problem is we can ignore it here in the Bahamas, but the US government is not ignoring this. They can see this. All right? They can see this. And only us is ignoring this. And so how is that going to affect us moving forward? So this is what is being paid to Eric, Player Gardiner, for this one building. This ain't nothing to do with the Renaissance and the building of those houses and anything else that's going on. All right? This is just what is being paid for this one building. This is serious. This is serious. Okay, hang on this more. And so that's what's being paid for this one building. And so Top Notch, PPP, etc., has some persons who are connected to them. All right. And I want you to see persons who are connected to them through directorships and all that. And there was a recent court case where Leno didn't do anything wrong. Leno is a financial company that was to get financing and funding, etc., for this project. And Leno was suing for what they were supposed to get. And this court case blew up recently, just before the election. And because of this, you could see some persons who were involved. And I want you to see that now. Now watch this. All right. The principal persons identified. All right. Having to do with the default matter. All right. With Mile Rock Complex. These are principal people. Just being identified doesn't mean the person did something wrong, but these are principal people. All right. My phone is freezing. All right. Let me see if this is a yes. All right. So these are some people. Samson R. Heald, they put him as a principal related to lead contractor and PPP Investments and Construction Company Limited. Identified in the project materials as the president director of PPP. He swore the affidavit, the beneficial ownership, connected to 8 Mile Rock and the land transfer, and is identified in reporting as the principal lead contractor connected to the project. Mark Robinson is a financial consultant with the PPP project structure, identified in reporting as a financial consultant involved with PPP investments, etc., and the financing project structure for the 8 Mile Rock Administrative Complex. Winston Roll, he was a part of Chamber of Commerce. He's the director listed in the offering documents. Former Bahamas Chamber of Commerce president, reported as having been listed as a director in the offering documents connected to the 8 Mile Rock project financing. Alicia S. Bowe, attorney for PPP, and not just an attorney, because she wouldn't be here on this list if she's just an attorney, but also is reported as a director, all right, in this thing. And so attorney representing PPP Investments and Construction Limited in the Leno litigation, Reporting also states that she later emerged as a director of PPP. All right. Again, that don't mean that anyone of them did anything wrong, but we're just showing you the association. So Alicia Bowe is allegedly a director with this company that's owned by Top Notch, is owned by the drug dealer. Winston Roll also, etc. All right. So these are key persons in all of this. And so there was a major case involved in this whole thing. Um, there's so much to go through here. And of course, those are prominent persons in the Bahamas with good reputations. And you saw what happened with the drug dealers who turned number men. They got prominent persons with good reputations to work along with them. And I don't know if that's the same thing that happened here. All right. Um, but again, how this works is that the PPP is an arrangement where you build the building and then you lease it to the government for a certain period of time to get your money back and some profits. And then afterwards, once the government does what they're supposed to do, you can sell to the government. The government should not mix up itself with any illicit activities or illegal money laundering or drug deals, et cetera, et cetera. They should do due diligence before they go into PPPs. And so this is where the problem comes in. This is the major problem. And America is watching this. All right? America is on top of this. And so we can ignore this if we want to. We can ignore this if we want to. But we have a serious problem going on here. All right? There's a serious problem. And is if Mr. Gardiner is so tied to our politicians, how is that going to affect our country and our governance? We need all of our members of the government right now, our new cabinet ministers, to deny any involvement. And we need a commission of inquiry immediately on Eric Blair Gardiner and the government buildings, government housing projects, etc. We call on the opposition, the other opposition, to stand with us on this. Notice the opposition was quick to talk about political stuff. They talked about Sabas and his appointment, but not a peep about this. This affects our country. This is a big deal. This shows our government in a different light. We are now headed towards a status similar to Maduro. There has been testimonies in the US about senior police officers. Drugs were shipped into the country to our southern islands. Yes, there were some arrests. Drugs were shipped in. Senior police officers were arrested to our southern islands. But they seem to only get arrested when the U.S. come and catch them. Isn't that interesting? So for Sonny Miller to get catch, the U.S. had to pull up on them. You see? For all those persons who got caught, it was the U.S., not our investigation that did it. The drugs was then taken to the northern islands, either Abaco, Freeport, etc. And those islands were left slack and loose, and the drugs were moved from those islands. There were complaints at the airport. There was the drug dogs were not searching properly. There's testimony that's already gone out to that effect to the U.S. government, DEA, etc. I don't want to give no details, but a lot has gone on, and the U.S. has been watching. Our country is at a serious crossroad. The question is, are we serious about this? So while I identify and pull up more documents, I'm actually going to open the phone lines. I'm going to open the phone lines for you to tell me what you think about all of this. How does this make you feel else doing this? Oh, I think I should show you one more document to show you, because I didn't show you proof that Gardiner owns Top Notch. We showed you that Top Notch owns PPP, but there's also another document that shows that Gardiner owns Top Notch. And I think to be thorough, I have to actually show you that. So there's no question, even though everyone knows it. We're showing you the proof and the evidence here. So why not? Okay, the calls already started coming in. 803-5995 is the number for you to call in. 803-5995. Let me make sure that this can be heard. All right, 803-5995 is the number. So while we're doing that, I'm going to pull up. Okay, computer going berserk. Computer going berserk. Come on, computer. All right. Hold the line 1 second. I just want to show this one document. Just give me a sec. Just hold on 1 sec, caller. Let me just show them this document quickly so that you can see. What is this? No, cancel. All right, hold on 1 sec. All right, there. All right, let me pull it up again. There, okay. Give me 1 sec. Let me just pull this document up for them. I want them to see this document. Oh. There it is. Okay. Now, let's get this up for you. Hold the line 1 sec, caller. Yeah. Okay, so this is another document, whether it was an affidavit. Affidavits is where it happens. It says, I, Jonathan Gardiner, of the Southern District of the Island of Providence, one of the islands of Commonwealth of Bahamas, that I am the president and director of Top Notch Builders Limited, a company incorporated under the laws of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. That all the issued shares in the said company are owned by Paradise Productions Inc. That's another company that's owned by him. Company limited and are not held for any third person, et cetera, et cetera. All right. All right. So, and so this is Jonathan Gardiner and his sworn affidavit again. All right. And so they tie up these companies in, what did I do? Yeah, they tie up these companies and, move things around and hide things. But I think that, were the government serious, they could have easily, very easily, identified what is what. But the problem is, the only time these kinds of things are identified is when the foreigners come in to do it. Let's go to the phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good night, Mr. Ben. How you doing?
I'm live. Go ahead.
Mr. Ben,
Yes.
I really do not follow up follow him up anymore, right? But the gentleman by the name of Sylvanus Mateus, who says he's the voice of the Bahamas, but there's only one voice of the Bahamas. That's Mr. Bain. He talked a lot about what you're talking about now.
Awesome.
He's been talking about this for years now with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me? Yes. That young man was on Facebook talking about exactly what you're talking about now.
Right.
You understand where I come from? Mr. Ben, you know what I know? You know what I see? What happened to us? And all Bahamians under the sound of my voice, you all better get yourself together. This country, the majority, not the minority, the majority of persons in this country love corruption and don't want to see change. Mr. Ben, we gonna have to suffer first. You hear what I say? We gonna have to suffer first in order to get our act together. It will come. It coming. We gonna have to suffer because we be like corruption and everything is money and greed. The spirit of money and greed is over this country, yeah? And something has to happen to this country. I'm so sorry to say it. This is my country and I'm here. But something have to happen in this country for us to suffer. We have never suffered, you know. So we have to suffer to learn and to see the things that you were talking about is true. And after we suffer, there'll be no good from bad, and we separate ourselves from corruption. We have to suffer, Mr. Ben.
Yeah.
We have to suffer. Have you noticed how crime went down? How murders went down in this country?
Yeah.
You know why murders went down in this country? And paint a picture, you're doing a good job. They already take out the people who was responsible for a lot of murders in this country.
Yeah.
They took these people out. So murder dropped. Keep up the good work, Mr. President. God is the greatest.
All right. Awesome. All right. Okay, we missed that call. I got more stuff to show you all. I just want you all to see this timeline so you all could understand this clearly. Call you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller. Go ahead. Okay, we lost him. Call you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Mr. Ben, I would like to... How can you tell the story if you was not on the plane?
Say again?
Were you on the plane?
No, I was not on the plane, but there are persons who were on.
Can you tell the story
Good question.
if you were not on the plane?
Good question. There were persons who were on the plane who testified as to what happened.
But is it accurate?
No, we can only tell what their testimony is. I mean, people give testimony as evidence in court. And so there was a lady, elderly lady, who was on the plane, and she said what she experienced. There's persons who talked to Ian Nixon, and he gave account of what happened on the plane. And so we can only go by what they said, but we can't say whether it's true or not. But that's their experience about what happened on the plane. But that's not here or there. They're just saying that we know that the plane had some issue and the plane had to land in the water, and so we know that. So that's not here or there, eh?
Okay, so.
All right. Thank you, man. Yeah, and the lady who testified about what happened, she was interviewed by U.S. media. All right. So wanted me to hang up on him. No man, we let people speak. Okay, we have another document we want you to see, but all right, go ahead, caller, you're live.
Hey, good night, Lincoln. How you doing?
I'm alive.
Well, Lincoln, I just listened to you, and I like, man, what does this mean for us as Bahamians and our country in general? Because from what you're saying, the U.S. basically
Hold the line one sec. Hold the line. Go ahead,
hello?
caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, what don't you say in the U.S. basically have enough evidence to come in and basically arrest the whole government?
Yeah, but the problem is international laws that you cannot arrest a sovereign head of state, and if they don't normally waste time if they feel that there may be government involvement, that the government isn't going to extradite anybody, and so they don't waste time. They do the long game and wait to see how they could get you, and so. We see a lot of persons getting cabinet appointments. So there's a lot of diplomatic immunity going on, and so there's some people who are speculating that maybe that have something to do with it. Maduro was arrested because they didn't recognize the election. We had a lot of skullduggery in our election, so there was the risk of that not being recognized. But they're moving quickly. Normally, they take about a month to get back to the House of Assembly, etc. But in about a week, they're going to be back in the House. On Wednesday, they're moving in the House. Election was Tuesday. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think they're moving quick because they're trying to make sure that, that they don't go to jail.
Maybe. All right. Thanks for your call, man.
Okay, thanks.
All right. All right. All right. Call you live. Go ahead.
Hey, Gardiner, my brother.
How you doing, man?
Man, all I got to say is God, even to the people at the Bahamas. This is Silver Patel, the voice of the Bahamas.
Awesome, man.
First of all, I want to tell the people, man, let me tell you what's really crushing the Bahamian people. The Derrick Roll estate, that's the stolen fortune right there. That has the government, both government, I'm talking about from Perry Glaston Christie, from Dr. Hubert Menace, from Philip Brave Davis, to Ingram. All right? The same estate that you see all of JP Morgan, BOB, Central Bank. Listen to me. You don't see the fact is even the Church of God of Prophecy from Nathaniel Benaby, from Hugh Lahana. Like, it is so much persons. Peter Turnquest said the Derrick Roll estate was a fairy tale. It is the truth. That's the money right there, what they're using to do all that trafficking, human.
Now, don't forget that Jeff Lloyd was sitting next to Peter Turnquest while he was saying that, and Jeff Lloyd made a statement. He said, "Boy, I wish it was me. I wish I was the lawyer in that case." And it turns out that Jeff Lloyd was the lawyer on that.
Yes,
and that
he was
shows
laughing
you.
like a hyena.
Yeah, that shows you how they've been deceiving us. Well, I have the documents on the Derrick Roll thing. We were just waiting to get into government, and we were going to bring justice with that, but it didn't happen. That money was going to go to the people it's supposed to go to. Part of that money is going to go to the Sovereign Wealth Fund. It was going to benefit every Bahamian, but it didn't happen.
Exactly. But listen, keep up the good work, man, and please protect yourself.
Yeah, and I know you have a love for the people. Someone called and said you was talking about these issues. Yes, you have been, and I know you have a love for this country, and it's genuine. I believe that. So continue standing up and having courage to do so. You
Yes,
safe,
sir.
you out of the country.
Years, man.
I hear I in the
It's been
country.
years.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, my brother.
All right. See you. And so I want you all to see this other document because a lot of people are thinking that, oh, this is just the PLP. Both of them partner with these kinds of stuff. All right. There's a system that is doing this, y'all. I want to show you all something. Watch this. That PPP with Eric Gardiner, that didn't come under the PLP, not the PPP. Hold the line, caller. We'll get right to you. Hold the line. What you're seeing is a Tribune article. All right. It's a Tribune article by Neil Hartnell from February 19th. 2018. Neil Hartnell has some amazing investigative stories, but people aren't into investigative stories. He talked about this stuff already, but just that no one reads the business part of the paper. And so he's been talking about some of this stuff. He's talked about Top Notch and these other stuff before, but it's like it just goes, it's just ignored. All right. So watch this. Remember, this is 2018. Who was that? That was Minis and Pintard. It says the public-private partnership (PPP) project subject subject to a $25 million capital raising, has received cabinet approval. The Attorney General has confirmed. Now remember, the cabinet is everyone. Everyone gets one vote in the cabinet. Don't let them tell you, oh, we have a new leader or a different leader or whatever. Everyone gets one vote, including the leader. All right? Cabinet voted to allow this situation, and that was the FNM. That was Minas, and that was Pinta, Dwayne Sands, all of them. They voted to give the PPP to Eric Gardiner, not the PLP. I want you to understand that. This ain't just, this is bigger than you think. This is a systematic problem we're having in this country. And so I don't want to put all the load and weight on the PLP. Both of them are partnering with everything that's going on. To continue, it says, Carl Bethel, QC, told the Tribune Business that the new 8 Mile Rock Administrative Complex had been cleared to proceed following the Minister Administration review of the PPP terms with the developer, PPP Investments and Construction. His confirmation supports the company's assertion to investors in the offering document for its $25 million bond offering, and includes the capital markets, that the two capital markets of the project is for real, with no obstacles to its progress. And this is showing you that the Minister Administration did their due diligence. What due diligence? PB Investments Construction had told potential investors the contract was reviewed by the current government and approved for completion given the professionals involved, the legal soundness of the contract protecting all entities, and the value the compound will bring to servicing the citizens of 8 Mile Rock. Both Mr. Bethel and his cabinet colleague, Desmond Bannister, the Minister of Works, had been critical of the PPPs inherited from the former Christie administration, including the 8 Mile Rock Complex, the contract for which was signed on May 9, 2017, just 24 hours before the general election. So, in other words, Perry Christie them had initially signed it, but it was approved later, all right? But they had initially signed it a day before the general election, all right, and pushed it over to the Minister Administration, but they let it go through. The signing also resulted in the government releasing a $4.4 million advance interest payment to PPP Investments as initial funding construction. So we paid. A transaction that Bannister criticized as inconceivable, but they did it. And Mr. Bethel, referring to the 8 Mile Rock project and Nassau's General Post Office, told the Senate last year, officials of my ministry, although they were briefed and were working on the proposal contracts, had not signed off or given the okay to sign of these two contracts and were never informed officials of the ministry had gone ahead and signed one on May 9th, a day before a general election. The Attorney General's comments to Tribunes, though, remove lingering doubts over whether the 8 Mile Rock project has been given the go-ahead. Alicia Bowe, an attorney and director of PPP Investments, so she's a director of PPP Investments and Construction, last week told Tribune Business that the political controversy surrounding the project had been unfortunate, given that the contract signing's timing was out of the company's hands. She said there was no reason not to sign the agreement and suggested, of course, she's their lawyer, so she could speak for them. Let's go to phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Lincoln Ben. How you doing?
I'm live.
Yeah, thank God for that. I'd like to say I respect what you're doing and how you're showing the people of the corruption, what's going on, because these are the people you want to say that, because what really hurting the payment people is this. God say, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then he will hear from heaven, forgive our sins, and will heal our land. See, they wonder. The people love money so much. And because of that, they allowing these corrupt politicians just to give them whatever is going on, some payment, and then they go right in and vote for them. Not even thinking about the tomorrow, what they'll have to eat, how they will pay their rent. Because suppose rent skyrocket on all of them. Rent done must be almost $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And when the righteous are in authority, the people will rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people are mourning. Not long they will soon start to mourn. They'll be saying, only if I did, but it'll be too late. They have to wait 4.9 more years, if that's the case, to realize what is going on. Because the saying goes, when you cannot hear, you will feel. And these people been warning, and God been showing them people long enough that what they are doing, they're making wrong decisions for the country. And we supposed to be a Christian nation. How we could be a Christian nation?
Yeah.
We allowing corruption people be our heads.
Yeah. That's a serious problem. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. So
thank you for your call.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Hold the line, caller. We'll get right to you. Just want to show them one paragraph in this document. Hold the line, caller. All right. So I just wanted you to see this piece that I've had up on the screen. She suggested the 8 Mile Rock complex, this is the lawyer talking now, and this the Tribune still, was the only PPP among 6 to 7 such arrangements inherited from its predecessor, which the government has allowed to proceed after recognizing that the contracts build in protections for all parties involved. And so other PPPs were rejected, but Ministem went along with this one. PPP Investments Construction Company, which was formed in late November 2026, is a vehicle specifically designed to construct and manage the 8 Mile Rock Administrative Complex. It is 100% owned by New Providence-based top-notch builders. See? So Neil had talked about this already, which is located in Adelaide Road. Its principals include Samson Heel as lead contractor, financial consultant Mark Robinson, and building consultant engineer Randolph John. Winston Rule, the former Bahamas Chamber of Commerce president, is listed as a director in the offering documents. All right? And so, very interesting article. And the whole country missed that at the time. Missed all of the corruption that was going on. Let's go to the phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good night, Bahamas. Good night, Mr. Ben.
Good night, my
DVD
brother.
Jr. All is well.
Who is this?
DVD Jr. Benjamin the Mayor Jr.
Okay, welcome, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Now, I realize that the official opposition sent out a release concerning the cabinet ministers connected to interest concerning the gaming industry. And I think you said that they're only addressing it on political versus them holding the administration to account. And I don't know if that was wise to just call it political theory, because you as a political party, you're doing the same thing, right? And people could say, well, oh, Mr. Bain, it's only political. You're only doing this because it's political. But we have the view that you are holding the administration to account. So, I just thought it wasn't balanced to just say it's political when I see them holding the administration to account. The same thing you're doing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I just suggested by saying that was dealing with a politician and his appointment. This is dealing with gross corruption. It's very dangerous to touch on these kinds of situations, and it seemed like they totally avoided this and said nothing about this. This is extremely important. This is our government money, possibly involved in money laundering and going to drug dealers. America having a serious issue with this. And I am 100% certain that Michael Pinta had met with the U.S. and they told him that this was of serious importance. All right? And what I'm saying is, I can let you talk. What I'm saying is, this is something, now that the arrest has happened, we don't need silence on this. We need to clean up our country. And of course, that is also an important issue. And I said we're also going to be dealing with that because it was us who originally dealt with that. So we're not saying that they shouldn't have dealt with that. But we're saying that there are other serious issues like this one that affects the entire nation, although that does too, but it's not just going after a politician. This is about our money that is being tangled up with drug dealing and money laundering, possibly. All right. So that's why I was saying that there's a differentiation. Go ahead, my brother.
I see what you're saying, and I can appreciate you explaining it. But, for me, both of you are opposition. They are the official opposition, which would be the FNM. And I think it's wise, being that they are the official opposition, to allow charges to be brought forward and so on and so forth before they really touch it officially. But you are opposition, but you're not the official opposition, so you kind of have a little more room to address certain things. Okay, that's one point. The other point is a question I asked in the group chats. It respects to, I think I asked you this question too, I didn't get a response. If you and the COI would ever consider a merger with the Free National Movement, collaboration with respects to getting certain things done concerning our country, because I know you want what's best for the country. Obviously, the FNM wants what's best, while we might have different views. And be advised that I do not speak for the FNM. I speak as a private citizen, right? And so, would you consider that, or would you be open for discussion with respects to the Free National Movement and the COI becoming one? Because all of the votes are split. We would have seen what happened with the general election. The first time ever voter turnout this low, which was maybe some 58, 59%. During the pandemic, it was maybe 64%. So it's really speaks volume. So the votes are split across the board. You have some of the votes, the FNF have some of the votes, and these other little drop seeds, I call them, have some of the votes. And so if it is numbers, because the PLP put so much money on the ground, you understand, and so it's a matter of numbers in my view. And that's why I was asking if you would ever be open for a discussion with the FNM in terms of collaborating, so that all the numbers can be consistent, and then you will then take control of the government and do what it is we want you to do and want the FNM to get done. Would you consider that?
I would have conversations with anybody. I don't have a problem. I'm a leader, and I don't have a problem having conversations with anyone. I've had conversations with Philip Brave Davis. I've had conversations with Michael Pintard. It's Michael Pintard who was not interested in working together at all. I had one conversation with him in the food store. I walked up to him and shook his hand. I asked him why he wasn't speaking out against the the asylum bill. Basically, he was saying that that's because the asylum bill is the FNM's bill and the PLP trying to take it like it's theirs. And someone walked past, a prominent FNM walked past while we were talking, and the person said, "Why don't you all two get together and get rid of this PLP?" Pintard immediately jumped up and said, "No, hell no, that'll never happen. That'll never happen." And even the parking boy was shocked at the way he responded so violently. The thing about leadership is leadership has to learn to be a uniting force, not a dividing force. And if the FNM isn't willing to unite amongst themselves, if you're telling people to carry their, you know what, in your party, how are you going to then unite with someone else? The next thing is, how do you unite with the problem? The FNM has been the problem. This isn't just about winning, because we could win, and then you empowered the same problem to happen and then cancel yourself out. And that's where the problem is. The FNM has been a problem with this country. Every problem that they're complaining about with the PLP, we've had under the FNM. So just to say to help the FNM get there doesn't help us.
I don't know if I'm saying to help the FNM get there. If you're collaborating on,
that's what it would be. Okay, what do we need? We need good health care. The FNM never gave us good health care. They didn't build a hospital. In fact, we had a chance to have a health city here, and they blocked it. And the people went to
administration. Not to cut you off. Is it really the leader of the party or the administration?
No.
The cabinet, say, versus just a political
party? The financial backers of the party determine what happens in the party. They get their way. That's what runs the party. It doesn't matter who the leader is. It's the financial backers that run the party, and that's the problem. So
Let me
we can
ask
go
you a
in there,
question and then I release you.
but Brent and the Holloway Escos and the rest of them, they can have their way. And so all of the problems we've been having, the immigration problem, we had immigration problem under the F&M. We have healthcare problem under the F&M. We had crime problems under the F&M.
Right. Let me ask you this question and I'll release you because I know you want to continue on. Maybe some other callers want to get in as well. With respect to the COI financial backers, did you ever disclose who these people are?
Disclose who they are? Yeah, man, everyone knows who they are.
People know who's backing you financially?
Yes, everyone knows who. The people of the Bahamas are backing us financially. They made fun of us with our jugs on the side of the road.
Okay, all right, okay.
The people of the Bahamas are backing us. We manage it. We manage it properly.
And no millionaires and no trillionaires.
My brother, the people of the Bahamas and those who are interested in this Bahamas are backing us. No one who gave us anything asked for anything in exchange or wanted anything from us. They just wanted the country to operate properly. So no one said, I can give you this money. When you get in, I want this business. I want this contract. No one that gave us any backing said anything like that.
We watched the numbers was adjusted on the screen of the TV with respect to your, I think it's what, Pinewood?
Yes.
And the numbers were sky high.
Yeah.
And as I turn around to get some apple juice and look back, the numbers dropped. What was that all about? Well, of course, these people are entering the data. We could see that they're entering the numbers, so on and so forth. But you think it was just a honest mistake?
Based on our investigations, it was not an honest mistake. There's skullduggery going on. There's a whole system that came together because they don't want me in the House of Assembly. Because if I can do these kinds of things out of the House, imagine what I can do in the House. And that's what the fear is. They don't want that accountability with privilege in the House of Assembly and with access to certain things and access to the international community and standing. They don't want that. They know that I understand the real powers of an MP. Many things that they don't understand. For example, no one ever saw them declare government contracts before. That never happened before. Never.
You're talking about the procurement that requires them?
No. Declare government contracts. Persons who are running are supposed to declare government contracts. So we brought it up with Zabas. Then all of a sudden, all of them ran to declare their government contracts in the Tribune. All right? You never saw that before. And it's only because
something that's in the law that is required.
It's in the law and required, but it never happened before. Only because I brought it up. All of a sudden now, everyone is doing it. And so they're afraid that there's a lot of other slackness that's going on in the House of Assembly and in this country. And they know that I know the law and they don't want accountability. So their job was to keep me out by any means necessary.
All right.
And now that we have they see the strength that we have and they see that there's a paradigm shift that's happening, their job is going to be to try to disarm me, to attack me and to go after me in every different way in order to stop me from getting there. They don't want me to get to that 5-year period to have a chance to get there again. So that's really how this works. I'm just saying this so my people can see when they start coming after me in short order, even though election isn't on the way, they got to try to disable me now because they don't want me to be able to hold their foot to the fire for the next 5 years and have a chance to get in.
See.
All right?
Well, God bless no man curse, and at the end of the day, continue to do what you know to do.
Thank you for your call, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. I saw someone comment that there was 4.6K people on Facebook, and now there's about 3K people. A lot of people went over to YouTube to watch it on TV, and that's only my Facebook page. That's not all. This isn't a total of everything. That's just what you're seeing on my Facebook page. But there's other Facebook pages, other YouTube pages, website, all kind of stuff, and so it's a total across the spectrum. So what you're seeing is only. If you watch it on my Facebook page, you'll see that. If you watch it on COI Facebook page, you'll see less than that. So that's the numbers you see. But ladies and gentlemen, they keep telling you the COI must join the F&M. You don't put new wine in the old wine skin. The F&M has never delivered anything that the PLP has failed to deliver. Whatever the PLP is failing at, the FNM is also failing at. So what's the point of just joining them? Oh, you got to get rid of the PLP to bring in the other failures we just got rid of? Just to say you got rid of them? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for something different. All right. So I just want to show you this timeline. Let me see if we can get this up for you. There's so many documents. I just wanted to give you an idea of what's happening and the seriousness of this whole thing. It's very serious, and this is what the U.S. is looking at. But none of our media is covering this. When they first talked about the fellow, think about that. They wouldn't even call his name. They were afraid. Caller, you live. Go ahead.
Hi, good night, Good night.
Good night.
I was just calling first to thank you so much for fighting so hard for our sovereignty and for standing up for what is right. Secondly, I don't want you to get distracted by these cronies that are being sent on your life to distract you from exposing what you have already started to expose, which is corruption. Thirdly, I wanted to say to you that regardless to what happened on May 12th, in short order, the Bahamian people is going to see exactly why. And you just need to stay in position because the celebration is going to soon turn into mourning. And with all these money laundering and stuff like that, I don't think the Bahamian people realize that we, the taxpayers, are paying these monies back. We are funding Joe Beth and everybody else who's living lavishly off these corrupt, however they get these monies, that we are funding these people, we are funding their lifestyle. And it's not fair to us, it's not fair to the taxpayers. And I feel strongly you should try somehow to reach out to Spain, to reach out to the U.S. Embassy, Donald Trump, somewhat, and give them this information that you have so that some reinforcement can come into the Bahamas and we can get some form of justice and have these people indicted, arrested for these criminal acts. For too long, we have sat and allowed this foolishness to go on, and enough is enough. Regardless of what happened on May 10th, you have a whole heap of people behind you willing and praying that you continue to fight and expose this corruption, and somehow we get justice. So that's all I wanted to say to you. Have a good night.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Carl, I just want you to know, while you're setting yourself up, I want you to know that the U.S. government knows everything that I'm saying today. They know this. It's only the Bahamian people who don't know this, and that's why I'm informing the Bahamian people so they know the seriousness. And I haven't even shown everything. I haven't even shown not even 1% of what the situation is. And so they know this. And I'm preparing the Bahamian people because no media has the courage to cover this. Like I said, Eyewitness News, and it's covered it. They wouldn't call the person's name. They knew the person's name. And anytime you see them do a story and don't call the person's name, that's someone connected to politics. All right? But look at this document, PPV investments. And ladies and gentlemen, we have some court filings to do. And if you would like to support us on that, please support us. Don't just say, go get them and whatever. If you want to support us and help us in doing this, we got to safeguard this election. Please, you can contact me at 803-5995. 803-5995 is the number. Hold the line, call. I'll get right to you. And if you want to help us, it's going to cost us, thousands of dollars, probably tens of thousands of dollars to fight these court battles that we now have to go into for this election, etc. And so if you want to assist us, if you're serious about this country, please reach out to us and let us know that you're willing to stand up and help. All right. So this is a synopsis of everything. And it shows the date and what happened. And so PPP was incorporated on November 16th. Then on the 12th of November, the affidavit of beneficial ownership was sworn. All right. To show the Top Notch Builders as owners, conveyance from Top Notch Builders Limited and the PPP. two PPP, sorry, for $10, which shows that they own it. Only if you sell it to yourself, you can do that for $10. Then 30 November 2016, MOU, reference to PPP agreement, that's Memorandum of Understanding. Um, uh, then in May 2017, the Public-Private Partnership Agreement. I think that was with the F&M government. And then in 2018, Leno Corporate Bond Finances Structure, all right, $25 million bond, an affidavit of conveyance. So this shows the whole structure. I'll just scroll through it and you can see where the loan came in and the mortgage was lodged and entered. And so all of this is right here for you to see. I'm just scrolling through it now. And government made payments direct to Leno for $8.1 million. So, there's a lot of stuff that happened, and I wish I had the time to go through all of it, but I started late because of technical difficulties. But that's what it is. Let me go to the phone lines. I'll pull up one final document for you. Call you live. Go ahead.
Yeah, good night, Lincoln. How you doing?
I'm alive.
Yes, good to hear your voice. You hear you're back and fighting again, boy. I like that. But let me say to the PLP trolls that are out there, let me say this. This fight is not with Lincoln, y'all. This fight, if y'all want to fight, go try fight God, because God is using Lincoln to deal with this corruption. Y'all fighting y'all coming at the wrong one. Go to God. If y'all want to fight, go to God. Please stop coming on here and fighting and talking crap. When Lincoln exposing the crap that God are using him to do. Lincoln, I just want to put that out there, because these trolls, they think you are dealing with this. This is God's work. God is dealing through you. So let him continue to use you to fight the battle. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks again, Lincoln, for coming in. I'm very happy and pleased that you're doing this tonight.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
And I just want to make this clear that I have no interest in any of these people's personal business. Like, people keep trying to get in my personal business, but I have no interest in these people's personal business. This has to do with the people's business. This government contracts. This our government money being used possibly for money laundering. This is the U.S. government all over this, and I'm going to pull up another document on the screen in a second. But hold on. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Bahamas. Hi, Mr. President. This is Charlotte Green.
Good evening.
I just want to share something with Bahamian people. If we remember back in 2013 when we went through the gaming referendum, the Bahamian people did send a strong no, that they was not interested in the web shop gaming and national lottery.
Mm-hmm.
The people said no. But for some reason, the government, the system said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we are again in Pinewood. We saw the numbers on the screen. The Pinewood residents said yes. But there was a glitch, and the government said, not underneath my watch. And then we have the Bahamian people fighting amongst themselves while the government is fighting us down. So I want to tell the Bahamian people, it's time that we band together. Both political parties have banded together a long time to keep the people down. It's a united system. And then we have foreigners in our country banding together to keep the Bahamian people down. And not only keeping them down, but kicking them out. And I'm not saying that about all foreigners, but it's clear that we can see what is going on. We should not continue putting our head in the sand, because any threat towards us in this day and time is a threat towards our future generations and our children. Our constitutional rights has been has been stepped on repeatedly over and over and over. We see where corruption is being rewarded. Corruption continues to be rewarded in this country. You dress it up in a coat suit and you call it honorable. But I just want the Bahamian people to know that the Coalition of Independence is here. We're not going anywhere. We are going to continue standing. We're going to continue fighting for our country. We will not be aligning ourselves with anybody who does not understand that the Bahamian people needs to be empowered in this country. They needs to benefit from their natural resources. If no party is talking along that line, if no party is implementing the policies for our people to benefit from the natural resources, for them to benefit directly from their crown land, for them to be owners in this country, then there is no discussion to be had. We are not going to surrender to the system anymore. The system our great-grandparents, our great-great-grandparents have been surrendering to. It's time to aggressively change the system and allow the people to benefit from this country.
I agree.
But Bahamians, we are here to stay and we're not going anywhere. And if you're interested in joining the movement, visit our website, www.coalitionofindependence.com. Join the movement because change isn't coming. Change is here. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Okay. Phone was beeping out of work while you was talking. We'll see if we can get any of them on here. You can call now, 803-5995. We're going to go for another 12 minutes, and then that's all we can do for the night. That'll take us to 11 o'clock hour. Call you live. Go ahead.
Hi, good night, Mr. President. How are you?
I'm alive.
That's good. It's Chantel Brown.
Hi, Chantel Brown.
Yes. My concern during the election, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. What I've noticed is that I feel that the people really change.
No, don't listen to your other device. Just listen to this.
Okay, yeah. The people really wanted a change, but they were afraid of victimization. And I noticed that because they were concerned about them knowing who voted for who. This was what the talks was. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they wanted to know if they would know who they voted for. And that's the problem, what was going on. But they wanted a change, and I feel like the people was ready for a change. But they said if they want to vote another party, because of the voters card and the victimization, they felt like someone would have found out, well, they vote for this party. So that is a big concern for me during election.
Yeah, so there's a way that they can go and see it, but that's so tedious and arduous that it's almost impossible for them to do that. That's really a lot of work for them to go look to see how everyone voted. That's not going to happen. All right. They would have to go in all the boxes, go through all of them one by one, line up every counterfoil with every ballot, etc. That's a lot of work. It's possible, but that's not necessarily how it works and what will happen. We have to get to the point where we have courage with our vote. Self-preservation is what causes corruption to prosper. We have to just take a stand. That's really what should happen. Now, in the Pinewood recount, I mean, they were very slack with the ballots, and they were breaking the law. They were showing the back of the ballot that has the number, the ballot counterfoil number on it, and they were showing the front and the back, so how you voted and the back. So that's a serious election court issue right there in and of itself. And we have lots of evidence of them doing that. And that's, I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. They just did it blatantly, putting the cards down right in front of the PLP person, and then turn it over on the next side and showing the back of it and showing it. Willy nilly. That's illegal. So on that alone, we should be able to to really go after them with this election. Not even the other stuff that went down. All right. Um, the fact of the matter is, again, I don't care about personal life. I don't care about Eric Gardiner's personal life. Listen, man, anyone can go to jail and come back and change themselves. That's no big issue. I mean, Kino Wong was arrested for drug smuggling. And now Kino Wong was running. No one really stopped him or protested. I think he's going to be a senator now. He changed his life and he didn't go back to that. That's the past. People make mistakes, and so it's not about that. But if you are still in it, then you're still in it. But if we are mixing government resources and the government is involved with this, that's a serious excuse me problem, not just for the Bahamas, but for the international community. That's the issue. This ain't about uh, who is good and who is bad and who's perfect and who's not. We don't care about all that. This is our government buildings being built, and people feel, and the international community feel, that drug money could be involved in all of this. All right, that's where the problem with this is. Listen, man, if you could sell your drugs, you go sell your drugs over there. Build your mansions and do what you got to do. It's wrong, but it's a different situation when you start building government buildings with drug money. I don't know how anyone could disagree with this. When you start doing government housing with drug money, that's a problem. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good night, Bahamas. Good night, Lincoln. This is Ellis. How are you tonight?
This is Cara Ellis.
Yes, it is.
Good night, my love. How you doing?
I am good.
Awesome.
And I actually dare to speak about why the question everybody's been wondering, why I disappeared.
Yes, go ahead.
So we see what happened with your votes the night when you guys were doing the actual election. We saw 13 something on the screen, and then suddenly it dropped to was it 5 or 9 something?
9, yes.
Right. And situations like that remind me of what happened when we were in Rawson Square and we were just trying to table a bill.
Mm-hmm.
And all I was doing was recording. And because I was recording, a police officer almost knocked me down with a vehicle, and the narrative was switched to I jumped in front of the car.
Yeah.
I actually still have the video from the CCTV cameras that showed that I'm innocent and the man tried to knock me down.
Yeah, car turned towards you.
Exactly.
And to be honest with you, you were not a part of that process. You just happened to be downtown to doing business.
Yes. So I actually was supposed to be doing some things for some clients of Maria Daxon at the time for a law firm.
Mm-hmm.
I just was recording. Because of course, you're like a dad to me.
Mm-hmm.
When I see your limp body being carried into a police car, I gotta understand what's going on. And I was working with your lawyer, so it was my job to make sure we got all the information.
Yes.
But my point in mentioning all of this is simply to say, if we live inside of a country that as simple as someone working on your behalf inside of a law firm to make sure that they record and get the necessary information for you could actually be nearly, and that would have been manslaughter if that man had actually run me over with that vehicle.
Yeah.
But could actually be attempted to be killed or run over by a vehicle by a police officer who's supposed to be working on our behalf. And then the system actually has that person arrested, charged, put before courts, and the case is still open to date with no resolve.
Yeah.
What kind of country are we in?
Yeah.
Are people safe? I'm a young person. At present, I'm 26. What is there to protect our people if this is how our country is being governed.
Yeah.
We cannot just sit idly by and hope for something to change. And it frustrates me that when you hear the people's voice and when you see the people coming out and they're saying that they're ready for change and they're saying that they're ready for this country to actually be their own, because that's what it's supposed to be if you're a Bahamian, then there are quote unquote glitches that are happening.
Yeah.
We have to protect our country.
We
have to protect our people. And we have to empower our people so that we can take claim of what is ours without being in fear of our own, whether it's lives, well-being, etc. Because our voice is supposed to matter according to our Constitution. And that's the highest law in the land.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have to stand up. Evil reign when good men do nothing. And we have to fix our country because we got to live in this. The politicians getting rich and they just making money and they don't care. But it's also going to suffer from their actions. And so we got to do something.
You're absolutely right.
Thank you for your call.
So you have my number.
Of course. Thank you. God bless you.
Same to you. Have a good night.
All right. Good night. That was Kari Ellis, one of our founders of Bahamian Evolution. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we got to fix our country. On the screen right now is the court matter reference to this building and the PPP because the government ended up not paying it. Hold the line, call. I'll be right with you. Hold the line, one sec. Oh wow, everyone calling now. These are written submissions that were done. All right. And it's talking about what really ran down and the real details. I wish I could go through it. I don't have any more time to go through this, but it's an important document. So I'm scrolling it so you can go back and freeze and do whatever. But this is 20 pages, 238 pages, so I can't go through all of it. But this shows really the seriousness of what went down and, the entanglement of using our country's money for money laundering. Call you live. Go ahead. I think we lost them. Okay, let me see. Hold on. No. Call you live. Go ahead.
You can hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yes, a pleasant good night. Yeah, Mr. Ben, I just want to read something quick for the Bahamian people, okay?
Go ahead.
The residents of the Pinewood constituency. It says, "Dear esteemed Pinewood residents, pursuant to Article 51 of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, under provisions governing election petitions under Part 7 of the Parliamentary Elections Act on Parliamentary Elections Rules of the Bahamas, please be advised that constituents bear a lawful constitutional right to challenge the validity and outcome of an election where there exists reasonable concern regarding alleged electoral irregularities, unlawful voting, procedural breaches, voter fraud, and any other matter capable of affecting the integrity and fairness of the electoral process." I'm going to read this last part. "Accordingly, where credible concerns exist surrounding the recent election contest between the Coalition of Independence candidate Mr. Lincoln Bain and Progressive Liberal Party candidate Mr. Miles LaRota within the Pinewood constituency, the law provides a lawful avenue through the election court for such concerns to be properly examined and judicially determined." What am I saying to you? Evidence that he is compiling. But this fight is the Pinewood residents and constituents. The same way you would have used your voice to vote and you were robbed of your rights, you must return back. Okay, and Mr. B Sabine, I was talking to you about a petition. We need at least 2 to 3 places where we can have some petitions and persons sign it along with their contacts, etc., because it will strengthen your case in the election court. Please don't take it lightly. You need the voice of the people behind you. So I'm encouraging the Pinewood residents, please, if we can arrange for these petitions to be put at designated areas, we just need your signature. We got to revote again. And we need to use that for the election court as substantial documentation to show that you disapprove and you're disgruntled about what has transpired. Thank you much.
Thank you, my brother. God bless. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking this to court. We need your help. Again, as we said in the beginning of this program, if you were disenfranchised in any way, let's say you were on the register last time, but not this time. Let's say they didn't let you vote or they made you vote in the yellow ballot when that shouldn't have been the case. Please contact me at 803. Hold the line, caller. Hold the line. 803-5995. Let's say you transferred and you wanted to vote but didn't get a chance to vote. Because when you came there, you weren't on the register and they didn't let you vote. Please reach out to me. And if you know anyone who went through this and they're not watching the program, tell them to reach out to me. Please tell them to reach out to me. If you experience any skullduggery during this election, reach out to us. Our team is compiling everything they need. We are going to challenge this for the people of Pinewood. We know that the people came out and voted against them, and we need your help. If you know of people who voted more than once, let us know. All right? If you know of people who voted and should not have voted, they don't live in Pinewood, for example, please let us know. All right? Any of these situations, if your house had more people registered in your house than lived in your house, please let us know. All right? All of these irregularities, what we're going to be able to take to election court. So please let us know. We have a matter of days, and so this is very important. So send a WhatsApp. You can't take calls for all of these, but send a WhatsApp 803-5995, and we'll compile all of them and we'll put them together. We may contact you for more information, but please send whatever information you have that could be helpful in this matter. This is a robbery that they did to the Pinewood people, and we're going to stand up. We can't let this just go like that. Let's go to phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Bain, how you doing tonight?
Awesome, man.
That's great. That's great. I got a question here I want to ask. They brought in a gentleman, Roger Stone, from the U.S. Roger Stone has 7 felony charges against him for voter fraud in Fixer. He's called a Fixer back in the U.S. Why would they bring him in, pay him $250,000 monthly? Okay, they said as a whatever it is that you're in Washington, in the interest of the Bahamas. Why would they hire someone who doesn't have a college degree, and known to be a felon, and pay him $250,000 when we have nurses and doctors in the Bahamas who can't get paid, but they can pay a felon 7 charges this man had and bring him in, knowing that he's a MAGA, knowing that he's a white supremacist, and bring him in on our election, free election. Can you help me kind of figure that one out? This one troubles me. Why would they do something like that? And they know what they were doing.
Yeah, I can't speak for them and what they're doing and why they're doing it. But you know what happened. You're an American. You live in America. We live in the Bahamas, and we got a problem with our country. Of course, they felt like their relationship to America might have been in jeopardy, so they hired a lobbyist who was close to Trump, and they did that for their best interests. All right. But I can tell you that our country's in trouble, and we can't have our country participating in drug dealing.
Yeah, I mean, this young man has 7 felonies. I mean, I'm sure they could find someone with better qualifications.
Remember, he was
doesn't even have a
pardoned.
college degree.
Yes, remember, he was pardoned.
That still doesn't make it that he had the charges against him, though.
Yeah.
He was what he did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bain. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. We had one other caller trying to get through, and they were trying to get through for so long. I think what I'll do is I'll just call them. Oh, they're calling back. They're persistent. Call you live. Go ahead.
Hello, Lincoln. Thank you for taking my call.
All right. This is the last call I can take. Go ahead.
I wanted to make 2 points. I wonder if the Bahamian public really listened carefully to the gentleman who was the spokesperson for the observers who came to watch over our elections. He essentially said, he tiptoed around his words, very careful, but he essentially said that many of the recommendations that were made over the past 2 election cycles were never implemented. And finally, he said, without freedom of information, the government could just write a check, just take out their calculator and figure out how much it's going to cost them to buy the election. And so he was very implicitly saying that the election was essentially bought, and there was a lot of evidence to show that. But I wonder how many people really paid attention to what he said. He was very nuanced in his speech, but if you listen carefully, you could see that what he was actually saying.
Not only did he say that, he also talked about the ballot boxes and them not being sealed properly or consistently, etc.
Yes. So what he was really saying is that it was a really botched election, and there was a lot of irregularities that no doubt swayed the outcome. And but these people, that they're essentially politicians, and they were very shy to speak very frankly. But my second point is with respect to the caller who asked who's funding you. What people must understand is we live in a country where if you speak out against the government, you are victimized and blocked at every turn, and you simply want a fair and level playing field. It's in every Bahamian's best interest to fund a party that has demonstrated that they are for fair and an open government and want to do the right thing and be fair in all of their contracts. If you are aware of and you're opposed to no bid contracts, and you see that cronies being given. I watched Basil Hyler sit under that tree on Nassau Street for the entire Ingram administration because he knew that as soon as the POP comes in, he can eat. So the point is, if you want fair government, if you want a fair chance to access government contracts and to get funding for your business ideas, you would support the COI. You don't have to be a donor with motivation, self interest only. If you simply want access to the contracts and government business opportunities like the cronies are getting, then you support another party to create the fair environment so you can be successful in your business adventures. So every Bahamian, no matter what you believe, if you want to have a fair government, if you want to see an end to no bid contracts and cronyism, you fund the COI. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So that's all I had to add. I want to encourage you to stay strong and continue fighting, and we will continue to sit back and be informed and continue to advocate and share the information with everyone we know, so that people would become more informed.
Thank you, my brother. All right.
Thank you for taking my call. Good night.
All right. Good night. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I can do for tonight. My Lord, if Bahamians don't see what's going on, I don't know what else is going to take for them to see. But our country is in trouble, and we can't have criminality running our country. The next thing is our election process was stolen and rigged, and we got to do something. And so, if you have any information, 803-5995, that's the number. Text us and let us know. We need details. And also, if you'd like to help to fund it, text me at 803-5995 and let me know that you're willing to contribute to us taking this to court. Please let us know. All right. Our country is in peril, and we got to stand up and fight. All right. They're gonna fight us, but we're gonna continue to stand up for what we know is right. And once we know we're standing for the truth, we're willing uh, to continue to stand. Our country is not well. All is not well, and someone has to stand up and do what is right. We're calling on the Christian Council and all of the righteous politicians, everyone who has been a part of a third party has been standing up to stand with us on this. We got to fix our country, man. We've got to. We've got to. We've got to fix this. Someone says, if you lose, bow out gracefully, shake my head. Yeah, we've done that. In many elections, we've congratulated the government. But when you can clearly see that the election was rigged, we cannot. Because we have to stand up for those people who did come out to vote, who did come out and get the purple mark on their hand. This isn't about bowing out gracefully. If there was some skullduggery done, we got to challenge it. Even the PLPs at the recount were like, yeah, we gotta say something about this. Let me see who this is. United States. Call you live. Go ahead.
Yes, and good night, Mr. Ben. How you doing, sir?
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I must congratulate you on the previous election. I'm standing you and whatnot. I'm supposed to come over in a month, and I have to come by the head office and see you, just for a word of encouragement and whatnot.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Okay, sir.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
but it's a privilege to see a guy like you. You're standing up for the people, but people just don't see the right thing.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you for your call, man. I think that Bahamians though are waking up. I think people are waking up, and you're seeing it. I think that we were robbed in this election. It is clear as day. I have zero question that this election was seriously rigged. All right, I fully believe that, and no one can take that away from me. That is what I believe. All right. Um, all right. So we got to stand up, and we got to do what is right. Stand with us. Stand with us. And so that arrest, which is the topic of this live, is going to have some serious consequences for this country. Serious, or it could have serious consequences for this country. And normally, what they do is when they get some on the politicians, they use it to influence them to get their way. Um, we hardly ever arrest them. But I think in this instance, so much has happened. Stay tuned. That's all I can say. Stay tuned. And again, this didn't start under just this administration. This was previous administrations that this has been happening. That's very important for you to understand. So for those people saying, "Oh, the PLP just got to go," and then go back to the FNM, no, we got some serious issues in this country, and we got to fix it. Thank you all for signing with us. Um, I'll be back at the headquarters in short order. We'll be back there and doing what we have to do. Um, just gotta do a continue a little bit of a vacation, and we'll be back to it. All right, but we're going to be getting to work on making sure that those who voted got their justice. And so we need your help, support, your information, your financing, et cetera, et cetera. We don't go to the oligarchs for financing. We go to Bahamian people. Thank you. God bless you. We love you. We're doing this because we love you. See you next time.